Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zappy here, back again with Attack on Titan Season 4. We are on episode 12, and in the last episode, we started out with Gabby and Falco escaping prison, with the main goal of tracking down Zeke, so they can get answers as to why he's joined up with Paradis and everything like that. But on the way, where they obviously, went off into the wilderness and everything like that, Kaya came across them. So Kaya was obviously the little girl that Sasha had saved back in Season 2. She is now, with Sasha's family, along with a couple other orphans as well. So yeah, Kaya brings them back to the farm for them to work, and they get meals and everything like that. And it's basically this idea that the Island Devils are being very good natured to them. And of course, Gabby, being the way that she is, can't grasp that fact. Like, to her, it doesn't make sense that these Island Devils are caring or kind in any sort of way. But it was a great scene towards the end with Kaya basically taking both Gabby and Falco to her hometown, where she grew up and everything, and basically took them through the whole situation that she found herself in with her mother and everything like that, and that obviously evolved into a sort of an argument as to where Kaya was saying, why did she have to suffer through this and everything like that, and Gabby had to she just kept coming back with the same answer every time, that it's like, you need to atone for your sins of your ancestors and everything like that, which I just don't I don't buy into that sort of way of thinking, that you have to atone for for people that you didn't even know. That's just ridiculous. So but that's the argument that Gabby was giving back, and Kaya was just consistently giving her the idea that her mother had nothing to do with it, so why did she have to suffer through this the way that she did. And it's one of those things where this is the planting of the seed, so that Gabby eventually will, it will flourish, and then she will have a different way of thinking. That's the hope, anyway, right? So yeah, I like the fact that Kaya wants to grow up to be the girl who saved her, Sasha. So yeah, really cool. And then other than that, the Global Alliance is what they're calling themselves against Paradis, is going to start in 6 months, is what they say. But there was a little meeting with all of the the warriors and everything like that, and it's seemingly they're going to go there beforehand on a sort of either a rescue mission, or to just try and get there before and either attack them with a surprise attack or whatever, or to just get in there, grab Gabby and Falco and get out. I mean, it's not going to go that smoothly. I really doubt it. But the interesting thing was Rhino was wanting to do it. Rhino was the one that was pushing for that, which is interesting because, it's in this season he's been very, down and depressed and suicidal, and the whole thing has been getting to him a lot. So he's kind of giving up. He's given up in the season. So to see him actually want to do something and have that motivation to do it is quite a change for Reiner in this season. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that comes about, how that happens. If it happens in this episode, we don't know. The only way to find out is to watch. So yeah, we're going to get in episode 12. So as always, the reaction will be here on YouTube, but if for whatever reason it gets taken down for copyright in the future, then I will re-upload this as a discussion-only video, and the link to the reaction will be in the description below. And as always, the link to the full length of this episode is in the description below as well. So if you want to watch my reaction in full, and not just the cut 10-minute version, then the offer is there for you. But yes, nothing else to talk about, so we're going to get into episode 12 of Season 4, see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. He's in front of Annie again. Fucking hell, that's Hitch! That doesn't look like Hitch at all. Yeah, they were good friends at one point, weren't they? Yeah, is it just me, or does Hitch look completely different? Guides. Okay. It's kicking off a bit.
兵団本部全域を民衆が取り囲んでいるんだって。
調査兵団の新兵？なんであの子たちが本部に？
私はあの日エレンに会いに行きました。
また偉くしようらしいの。
私は思っていた。あなた方は世界を知らない。このまま議論を先送りにし続けていけば手遅れになると。
それでエレン自らマーレの中枢に潜伏し兵団を動かすように助言なさったか？
そんなことは言ってません。ただ兵政権に葉っぱをかける必要があるとは申しました。
エレンの誘導に成功しジークが望んだ通りの結果を得たわけじゃな。
そんなことでは意味がありません。私はただエレン・イェーガーに私を知ってほしかっただけで。いえ、我々に
It's like she worships them.
エレンの持つ始祖はマーレを打ち砕く望みなのです。彼はたった一人で我々を長年苦しめてきたマーレに天罰を下したのです。ピクシス司令。
Not that you need a proof,
今
I
我
guess,
々
but you
が目
know.
にしているものが何かお分かりですか？我々は歴史が変わる瞬間に立ち会っているのです。あなた方を欺いたのは事実ですが、私の行動はすべてヘルディアを思ってのことです。
まあ嘘のつき方を知っとるか？時折事実を混ぜて喋ることじゃ。
この後に及んで我々を疑うなんて正直失望しましたよ。鉄道も貿易もこの島を豊かにしたはずです。
Have they got Hellos on that
エルディ
card?
アに尽くしたのに。え？イエレナがエレンと密会したことを認めた？本当ですか？
本当に知らなか
So
っ
he doesn't know. Okay.
知りませんでしたよ。本当にイエレナが。
イエレナがそんなことするわけないとは言わないんだね。イエレナについて知っていることは全て話すんだ。我々の今後のためにも。
知っての通り、我々義勇兵を組織したのはイエレナです。その度に彼女は自ら手を汚すことでジークさんや組織への忠義を示してきました。寝食を共にした友であっても、
Oh, was that
俺たちもそれがマーレに奪われた祖国のためだと信じることで。
was that the person who fell from the roof earlier on in the season?
君たちとエレンを面会させることはできない。
どうしてでしょうか？
義勇兵とエレンの接触が明らかになったからだ。エレンは今回の発覚を受けて以降黙秘したままだ。彼が単独で過ごしたマーレでの時間についても依然として空白のまま。
Oh no, I don't think he would be manipulated, you know?
エレンが
I don't see it.
そんな。
I don't see it that way.
エレンはどうなりますか？それは。
なんでもない。置き場に困ったものを先ほど新兵に運ばせたのだ。事態はより慎重を期す。話は以上だ。
アルミンの言う通り
I have to
そう
look
はな
back
い
to
は
see
ずな
what
のに。
that chair truly is, because
どう
that.
してダメなの？
But I mean, you know,
考えられるとしたら、兵政権はすでにエレンを見限っているのかもしれない。もしそうだとしたら、始祖の継承者選びも始まっている。
wow, really?
何があっても私はエレンを。
Fucking hell! Who the fuck? Jesus! What the fuck happened? At first I thought that was Eren, but
心臓を捧げよう。俺たちの怒りが届いたんだ。今こそ戦う時だ。俺も戦うぞ。
they sent someone in. Fucking hell. They're really rebelling now. Jesus.
They
sent someone in. A recruit.
これに爆弾が仕掛けられていたと見ている。
調査兵団です。
まさか緊急事態です。エレン・イェーガーが地下牢
Oh,
から脱走しました。
Jesus. They, in the uproar, they got him out. Wow, they're all out. This is crazy, man.
多いな。何人いる？ここにいる者以外にも俺たちの味方は兵団内に潜んでいる。このエルディア帝国を救えるのはお前しかいない。
This is insane.
エレン・イェーガー。
Cool.
ジークの居場所を特定する。
It's like they're fighting against themselves, and
100名余りの兵士が檻の中から看守ごと姿を消した。奴らでは困るな。反兵団破壊工作組織イエーガーを招しよう。
そしてエレンを中心とした兵団組織の変革。総統の殺害は彼らの強い意志を示している。兵団がエレンから始祖を移そうと画策していたからだろう。我々に何の知らせもなく。
どう責任を取るつもりだ、ハンジ団長。
I don't know how.
いくらでも処分は受ける。しか
She's
し
showed us
今
so
私が
much.
兵団を退くことより無責任なことはない。
仲間同士でいがみ合うより先にやるべきことがあるだろう。ハンジ、ジークの交流場所を知る者は？
現地で監視に当たるリヴァイと30名の兵士、そして補給と連絡を受け持つ3名。
Levi's sticking next to him.
エレンがまず狙うはジークとの接触、そしてヒストリア女王。
相当を失った今、我々を束ね統率することができるのはあなただけです。何か今後の展望はございますか？
これはもうわしらの負けじゃ。エレンに降参しよう。
What the fuck?
そんな愚行に費やす時間はどこにもない。
Yeah,
多
they
く
can't.
の兵に兵団を見限る決断をさせた。
ではイエーガー兄弟に服従するおつもりですか？
服従ではない。イエーガー派にジークの居場所を教えることを条件に交渉を図る。
Okay.
ただし我々の親玉を殺された剣をここに不問とする。これで数百数千の同志が殺し合わずに済むのなら。
Wow.
安かろう。
Just made a hard decision like that.
ミカサ様、何かありましたらすぐに私どもの船までお逃げください。何をおっしゃいますか？私どもがここに来たのはあなた様のために。
地下資源がなくてもですか？
激動の時代の中で東人家は返事できましたが、今や金勘定に浅ましい女狐の汚名が轟く始末となり果てました。ミカサ様の母君が残された一族の誇りまで失ったわけではございません。この国がどうなろうとあなた様だけはお守りいたします。
Don't know
ま
to
だエ
believe
レンが
her.
やったと決まったわけじゃない。
声が大きいぞミカサ。俺たちはイエーガー派じゃねえのかって疑われてんだぞ。
実際どうなんだよミカサ、お前は。
私とアルミンはあの爆発に巻き込まれるところだったと言った。これでもわからないの？
状況を踏まえた上でジークやイエレナによって仕掛けられた保険が効果を発揮してきている。私たちはこれ以上無様に翻弄される前にジークの思惑を明らかにしよう。もちろん私の早とちりならそれでいいんだけど、彼女が守ったマーレ人捕虜の労働環境が怪しい。例えばレストランとか。
すごい建物。
Niccolo.
こんなとこ初めてだ。
今日はうんと食うときなさいよ。
It's a nice fucking building.
兵団のやつらそう少しいな。
Fuck, they're already there! Shit! Oh my god. Okay, episode 12. Wow. There's been a huge fucking revelation in the way that I'm thinking about how this is turning out now. Because, and correct me if I steer my theory like so far out of the way, but everything's starting to come, like, everything's starting to kind of fix into place in my head about what is actually going on here, and I'm now starting to believe that Zeke's plan is not actually like to. I don't think he is truly on Paradise's side. I think things were possibly put into motion, like, you know, like a plan way ahead of time. It's like it's like Zeke sort of on his own, not telling the the other warriors, or, you know, Gabby and Falco, of course, like, you know, people like that. I think he went off and secured his own plan to, because the thing that really, like, makes me think this was something that was, like, way ahead, like, in advance, was the wine scene in like a couple episodes ago, with Niccolo in the basement, right? Now, the only other time that we've seen wine before, actually, was it wine? The thing I'm referring to is the tower, right? That that was in season 2, right? That, you know, you had the likes of, you know, Amir, Rainer, Berthold, Historia, when they were all, you know, there, Connie, in that tower. They come across some provisions, right, that had, you know, basically like a language that Rainer was surprised that Amir could speak, right, or understand, I suppose. And I guess the idea is that that's where Zeke was hiding out in anyway. And on those provisions. And Yelena, I mean, this is the thing, is like Hanji's obviously talking, you know, she's got like this idea that what Yelena was actually doing was setting up places, right? Like, you know, the restaurant where Niccolo works. The thing is with that, you know, I said during the reaction that I didn't think that Eren would be manipulated. But if this was all just like an elaborate plan so that Zeke would be able to catch them by surprise, then that would mean that Eren was being he is being manipulated. But fucking hell, it's such an elaborate plan that I don't. I don't know. I really fucking don't know. But it seems as though, like, I don't know, it's very fucking elaborate. But, you know, it's something that he could pull off, I think. So yeah, I had no idea that that was the actual, like, the restaurant that Niccolo owned, I guess, at that point, you know, a couple episodes ago when they were there. But damn, it's really fucking picking up again. So we have Jaegerists, which are sort of an insurrection group that basically are all about Eren, and that he's the one to lead them into a new age for the Eldian people. And the Jaegerists actually have the citizens on their side. But damn, like, it's so interesting that, you know, they set up this, you know, the plan to have obviously Eren and you know all of them escape, like Flock and everything like that, by using that chair and planting a bomb in it to kill Zachary, because he himself was also planning things behind, like, you know, sort of behind the scenes. Basically, like, choosing a candidate, you know, a new candidate for the Founding Titan and everything like that. Fuck. So they actually knew that. They knew that what Zachary was planning beforehand, and set up a fucking plan to, you know, kill him off and escape as well during, like, all the commotion and everything like that. God, there's just so many, like, there's just so, like, all these different plans that all seem like they could be part of just the same plan. You know what I mean? All these, like, little tidbits of, like, Yelena going to, you know, talk to Eren and everything like that. And Pixis talking about how, you know, do you know how to tell a good lie? You mix in some truths within the lie, right? Pixis is a smart one. And also a good leader as well, because when he came in and, you know, Armin was like, you know, without... it's almost like Pixis has become like the new, you know, premier. And without, like, no time at all, he gave what, you know, he basically gave his opinion. Hard to really call it whether or not it was an order or anything like that. I think it kind of was, just because of the way that he was saying it. But that essentially they have no time for all of this infighting. You know what I mean? They just don't have the time. So their only way forward is to actually, you know what I mean, to some degree, just surrender to Eren, and hopefully, you know, get into, you know, some negotiations about what they, you know, how they move forward. And I guess the idea is that if they're going to have to go ahead and just surrender to Eren, then, you know, the idea with the negotiations is where he's going to have to let them in on his plan, right? Is essentially the idea, and that in turn that will somehow unravel what Zeke's plan actually is, you know, so they actually know how to go ahead, and whether or not sort of nip it in the bud, so to speak, and stop it before it goes ahead, or they do just go along with the plan and follow, you know, Eren's lead. But yeah, I mean, because that's the thing, is like, I'm in agreement as well, and it's not like something that they really want to do, you know what I mean? They've tried to stall for time all this time. You know what I mean? Like, have as much time as possible to come up with another plan, and they haven't. And that's obviously the reason why, you know, a couple episodes ago, when Eren grabbed Hanji up against the cell and was like, if you've got a fucking plan, spit it out, because right now we don't have another plan. And he's getting annoyed because there is no, you know what I mean, they're running out of time. They've got a fucking global alliance coming at them in half a year's time. You know, I'm pretty sure the guy that, you know, the people on Paradise, they don't actually know that, like, when they're going to be coming. You know what I mean? So it's that thing of, like, they need to have as much time for preparation as possible, or they're just going to get, you know, attacked, like, immediately out of nowhere. They're not going to be prepared, and they're going to be, and, you know, they're going to just have to, like, essentially lay down and take it, because they didn't have the preparation put in place. So it's, you know, when Pixar says basically we have to just surrender to Eren and go along with it, he's right, because they don't have time to fight amongst themselves. They've got much bigger fish to fry. But of course, even though, you know, he says that, it's purely just logistics, really. You know what I mean? So it's a logical, the only logical thing that they really can do realistically without, you know, he doesn't like it, of course. You know what I mean? He's still, like, you know, you see him, like, grind his teeth, and it's, you know, it's just that thing that they have to do. You know what I mean? It's something they have to do. It's not something that they can let their feelings get in the way of. You know. But that's the thing, is that one of the scene I find interesting is, so Mikasa and Connie are still, like, at odds a bit. But it's interesting that, like, you know, Connie's got this thing of, like, whose side are you on? And I don't think at this point, like, you can't choose sides. Like, you don't have that luxury, you know, because just, like, you know, like I said, you know, because of time and everything. But Mikasa's comeback is interesting to me, because you know, it's like she comes back and says, "Do you really need to ask that? I was almost caught up in the explosion." So just by that, like, quote, you would think that Mikasa's chosen the side against the Jaegerists, right? But she can't truly believe that Eren planned for that to happen. I mean, that's just ridiculous, right? And also, I don't think it was, like, in the plan for Armin and Mikasa to be there. It couldn't have been, right? Well, first of all, because why would you risk losing Armin, right, who's the Colossal Titan, and everything like that? So, I mean, I've talked a lot about perspective in this season, and maybe that is a perspective thing from Mikasa, because, you know, things are going crazy. She hasn't had time to properly think about it, you know? Or maybe she is actually smart in saying that, because it just kind of gets Connie off her back, maybe, you know, like she could just say like, yeah, I'm you know, I'm on your side, kind of thing, and it's just like, there you go, you've nipped that conversation in the bud, so you don't have to fucking argue about pointless shit. They don't have that time, and again, that's what it comes down to is time. So yeah, so yeah, I mean, basically Yelena, it's so interesting to me that, like, because she has this sort of like, almost, she sees that, like, you know, specifically the Jaegers as gods almost, and she worships them, you know, to a degree. But this is the thing, is like, if Zeke has his own thing going on, and it's just like, you know, and he's basically let Yelena sort of, you know, turn him over, so to speak, because basically that's what it seems like her character is. It's like the one to speak into Eren's ear like every now and then, right, and like sort of guide him along, and that's what the manipulation is, you know, so that, you know, seemingly they're on the same side until they're not. It's, yeah, but Onyankopon didn't know. Well, he didn't know that she went to speak to Eren, but she does, like, he does know that she has this, obviously, this tendency to go off, kind of do her own kind of thing, right? So it's interesting to have these, like, two people that came across in the same envoy, right? But kind of be not on the same page, and you have almost like Onyankopon almost becoming like a, like almost like a, well, obviously not like kind of second in command, because that would be Levi, but like kind of becoming like sort of Hanji's, you know, joining her side, so to speak, you know what I mean? They seem to be like, you know, those two seem to be on the same page, because when we saw Hanji come back in season 4, with, obviously they were on the Zeppelin, right, and they were there together, so they kind of have like that sort of, I guess, you know, kinship. Like, well, it wouldn't be kinship, it would be really like that sort of relationship, right, where like it's almost like a second in command when Levi's not there, right? But yeah, so it is interesting, isn't it? Also, we had Lady Kiyomi, who Mikasa basically like straight up like give her the shit for, like, obviously, you know, the bullshit that she was kind of spouting about, but, you know, the money grabbing and all of that, that, you know, the only reason why she came here was for the resources, and that Mikasa's lineage has got nothing to do with it, you know. So she comes out and basically says, no, I'm Eldian, right? That's who I am. Whether or not she actually is you don't, I mean, we don't know, because there's always been this thing with Ackermans, right, that you can't really tell whether or not they are truly Eldian. The one chance we did have was that, you know, Kenny wanted it, right? He wanted to get the Founding Titan, just so that he understood the one dude, right, that he was pals with. But the thing is that we don't know whether they're Eldian or not, and that's the thing. Is like, it could be some other. They could be part of some like other race that, you know, we don't know about yet. So she's just saying that she's Eldian because she's, you know, with all of these other people and everything like that, and they don't know, you know, they don't know any different. But the Lady Kiyomi still insists that, you know, on like the Mikasa's lineage and everything, and that's still like not really a priority, I guess, as such, but it's still just as important to her. So it's hard to determine whether or not I actually believe her or not. You know what I mean? Because there's still that ulterior motive thing with the resources and everything. So, you know, it's a tough one to sort of crack. But yeah, so I mean, fucking hell, the bomb chair, man. Fucking hell, that one caught me off guard. It was so loud as well. Do you know when like something catches you like really off guard, and like you get like a sort of like a blood rush, and you're like, it's almost like everything becomes louder after that. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like you're like on alert now, so everything, like, your hearing and everything just like enhances. That's what happened to me after that fucking explosion, because it just came out of nowhere, dude. Like, and it was so loud. Damn, that, I mean, that was crazy. That was so crazy. So yeah. What else? Oh yeah, so the very beginning. Armin, obviously back next to Annie. And Hitch was there as well. She looks so different, man. She really does. Like, I just didn't notice, at first, until obviously her name came up. But yeah, she's obviously, it makes sense that she's there and she talks to Annie too, because they were friends in the military police at one point. But I think what's really interesting and something I've just thought about is that, like, Armin talking about obviously touching it to gain memories and everything because it's transferred across Titans and everything like that, but that maybe, like, I said during the reaction that I think it's interesting that when Hitch brought up the crush thing, Armin never retorted with like, don't be stupid, or like, he never even almost acknowledged it, to the point where I was thinking, does he actually have a crush on Annie? Now, they always, like, Armin and Annie had this little, kind of, thing between those two characters, right? Obviously, all the way back in season 1, and that they were good friends and everything. And then Armin was the one that saw the good in Annie and everything. But it's interesting to me that because Armin has the Colossal Titan, that the memories that Berthold has is transferred down to him, right? But I don't know if it's just memories, or if, there are sort of like those feelings that transfer across as well. But I guess, to a degree, feelings do come from those, like, memories and, experiences that you have. So I guess they kind of come as a pair. So, to a degree, yes, feelings are kind of, transferred down as well. Basically, like second hand almost, because of obviously the memories that are passed down. And we know that Berthold liked Annie, right? So I'm wondering if that's just something that is like passed down to Armin now, that he has feelings for Annie now because of that, because of how Berthold felt about her, which is definitely interesting. I could be looking into that a bit too much, and it could be just a case that Armin just likes her as well. So there could be that. But I don't know, I just find it interesting that Berthold did like her, and Armin inherited the Colossal Titan, meaning that he got Berthold's memories and everything like that. So, that makes sense to me. Could be wrong, but who knows. Oh yeah, the accidental deaths that Onyankopon was talking about with Hanji at that one point. That, I always thought it was weird, that one scene that was like in episode 3 or something, where like a dude just falls off the roof, and I thought that maybe it's just of someone committing suicide, because of like PTSD of war, something like that. But I think that's what that was, from a perspective as someone got pushed off the roof, right? But it's so interesting, like those little details that, like, without this explanation, that would have just been a scene that was just like, okay, that was odd. But it's so cool that you had those little tidbits like in the background so much earlier on, before the initial attack, because we had no idea what was going on at that point. I don't even think we even knew Eren was there at that point when that dude fell off the roof, right? And obviously all of those, according to Onyankopon, were basically like, those were to get people to trust them, right? To get the Paradise Lot to trust them, or at least Eren or whatever. But yeah, that's so interesting. I wish I knew how much time between that guy getting pushed off the roof and the initial attack. in Mali or Liberia. You know, like how much time there was passed between the, you know. But that is so interesting. So back when I was when you know I had that thing about mail getting sent to the wall, right, or the Paradise or whatever, right, and I realized like how stupid it sounded, but I thought it was someone like getting a message and then carrying it, like that person going across back to Paradise to let them know, and seemingly that is what it's sort of tied to, I guess. The person getting pushed off the roof as a way to, you know, get them to, get the Paradise to trust them and everything. Obviously, taking all of that back over to Paradise, but like, yeah. I wish I knew exactly as well, like what the messages actually said that Eren was, like what he was actually like writing down, and you know, I want to see like those letters and just see like exactly what was explained. I mean, I guess not really, like not a lot. Probably more so like, you know, something to do with like, okay, I'm over here in Liberia, this is what is going to happen, come help, or something like that, you know, like it's, I think maybe it probably would be quite vague as to what, you know, was going on, but you know, I'm sure he was giving out like, you know, little things like, you know, about what is actually going on at that time. Of course, like, you know, the meeting of people around the world because they're going to declare war on us or whatever. But yeah, very interesting. So yeah, I don't know where the fuck we go from here now. With like Hanji and you know, all of them heading off quickly to fucking to the restaurant. It's all based on a sort of a trying to think of the word. I can't think of the word. Why can't I think of it? It's like on the tip of my tongue and I can't fucking think of it. Hanji's got a... Fuck. I can't think of it. Shit, how to explain it? So, she thinks something's going on, right? She's got like a sort of like an itch that she can't get rid of, right? She's going out on a... like on a limb, kind of. It's not the word I was looking for, but it kind of means the same thing. She's going out on a limb thinking that something's going on. And so, you know, I think she's heading towards the restaurant because something's going to happen there. And, you know, similarly, that's kind of why I think that there was a plan put in place that shit's going to go awry. And with Peak being there as well, like, fuck. It just makes me wonder, where the fuck is everyone else, you know? And also, everything to happen to lead up to this point that happened in the last episode about Kaya saying that, you know, we're going to a restaurant where you can probably go back. Kaya knowing that Gabby and Falco are Malians and everything. Like, fucking hell, what's going... like, you know? Oh, man. I don't know. I really don't know. But the thing is like, with the plans put in place and everything, that, like... If there was a plan way in advance, I just don't want Niccolo to, you know, to be a bad guy. But then there could be this thing of, like, ever since Sasha's death, it's kind of like, you know, he can, like, maybe no longer care anymore. But to some degree, he still has, like, a kind of, like, a friendship with, like, Connie and everyone, right? And Jean and stuff. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know where we go from here then, because we've got Hanji and whatnot. They're heading towards the restaurant, right? But then you've got Eren and the Jaegerists who are going straight one of two places. So it's either going to Zeke or it's going to Astoria. I'm guessing the idea. Oh, fucking hell! See, I can't even imagine why Eren would. I don't know. It's tough. It's very tough. But Eren would have to. Now, this is the thing. Historia was on board with the idea of the sacrifice, right? So if like Eren, I don't think would probably have to tell her anything. Like, you know, you wouldn't have to convince her to be a part of this plan. Yeah, fuck. I don't know, man. I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know where we go from here. And, you know, they still haven't even talked about the fact that Gabi and Falco escaped, you know? So I don't even know if they know yet. I feel like they should know. But we haven't got, like, confirmation that they do actually know, you know? So, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. I apologise if I've missed anything, as, you know, as usual. There's obviously, like, always, like, a lot of stuff going on in little bits that, you know, that, like, I miss or whatever. But yeah, so I apologise if I have missed anything. But anyway, that is all I've got. So thank you for watching. In the description below, I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards there, like early access. That gives you access to shows a week early. There's the full-length tier, which gives you access to, you know, the full-length reactions for all the shows I do. And then there's the exclusive tier, which gives you the access to the full-length movie reactions and everything like that. So, yeah, that is the one for you if you like movies. But anyway, yeah, that is all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.